The Mystical Worlds of DMT. Rick Strassman's groundbreaking experiments on consciousness. Dr. Rick Strassman's clinical experiments with N N-Dimethyltryptamine, DMT, in the 1990s stand as one of the most fascinating intersections of modern neuroscience, ancient spiritual traditions, and consciousness research. His work marked the first legal clinical research involving psychedelics in the United States after a decades-long prohibition. This groundbreaking study, conducted at the University of New Mexico, has since contributed to a renewed interest in psychedelics' potential therapeutic applications and deeper understanding of altered states of consciousness. The genesis of Strassman's DMT research. Strassman, a psychiatrist and researcher with a long-standing interest in the biology of spiritual experiences, became intrigued by the potential of endogenous compounds, specifically naturally occurring chemicals in the brain, to induce altered states of consciousness. Among these substances, DMT stood out because it is structurally similar to serotonin and can be found naturally in the human body, particularly in the pineal gland. DMT's reputation for inducing intensely vivid and often mystical experiences fascinated Strassman. Many cultures, especially in South America, had been using DMT in the form of ayahuasca for centuries, claiming it opened gateways to spiritual realms. However, Strassman's approach was not simply a romanticized exploration of shamanic traditions. He was deeply committed to scientific rigor. His clinical study aimed to understand DMT's effects within a controlled, medically supervised setting. The experiment's design. Strassman's experiments, conducted between 1990 and 1995, involved 60 volunteers who were administered high doses of intravenous DMT. The participants, many of whom were experienced in altered states of consciousness, were given doses that could produce profound psychological and sensory effects within minutes. The structure of the experiments was meticulously designed, ensuring the volunteers were monitored under safe conditions. Blood pressure, heart rate, and other physiological parameters were closely observed to understand the bodily impact of this potent psychedelic. However, beyond physical reactions, Strassman was particularly interested in the psychological and mystical experiences reported by the participants. The experiential findings. Encounters with otherworldly entities. One of the most striking aspects of Strassman's research was the consistency with which participants reported experiencing powerful and sometimes bewildering encounters with what they described as entities or beings. These beings often appeared to be sentient, with many participants reporting that the encounters felt real, as if they had entered another dimension or realm. The nature of these beings varied widely, from benevolent guides to technologically advanced alien-like figures. Some participants described these entities as having a profound sense of wisdom or knowledge, while others recounted experiences of being probed or tested, echoing the commonly reported themes of alien abduction scenarios. While Strassman approached these reports with an open mind, he remained scientifically cautious, recognizing that the experiences could be a byproduct of the brain's interaction with this powerful psychedelic compound. Yet, the regularity and vividness of these encounters sparked a deep fascination with the possible existence of parallel realities or dimensions accessible through altered states of consciousness. Could DMT be a spirit molecule, as he later titled his book, which provides a glimpse into hidden dimensions of reality? Strassman's theoretical considerations. One of Strassman's more speculative hypotheses centered on the role of the pineal gland. Historically, the pineal has been associated with mystical experiences in various spiritual traditions, often referred to as the third eye. Strassman postulated that DMT might be naturally produced in the pineal during extraordinary circumstances, such as birth, death, or near-death experiences, possibly accounting for the vivid visions and encounters reported during these pivotal moments. While this theory remains controversial, it has prompted further interest in exploring the link between neurochemistry and spirituality. Strassman's experiments also led him to explore the possibility that DMT might provide a biochemical mechanism for accessing what religious or mystical traditions have described as the afterlife, spiritual dimensions, or even enlightenment. In this way, Strassman's work began to bridge the gap between science and spirituality, suggesting that our brains might be hardwired for transcendent experiences. Scientific criticism and ethical considerations. As with any groundbreaking research, Strassman's work was not without controversy. Critics pointed out that the subjective nature of psychedelic experiences made it difficult to draw clear scientific conclusions. The experiences reported by participants were highly varied, deeply personal, and often difficult to quantify or explain within traditional scientific frameworks. Additionally, there were ethical concerns about the psychological impact of such powerful experiences. While Strassman's study adhered to rigorous ethical standards, some participants reported difficult or disturbing experiences, including feelings of existential terror, paranoia, or loss of self. The intensity of DMT's effects raised important questions about the safety and psychological risks of high-dose psychedelic research, a concern that continues to be debated in modern psychedelic studies. The legacy of Strassman's DMT experiments. Despite the challenges, Strassman's work played a crucial role in reigniting interest in psychedelic research, which had been largely dormant since the 1970s due to government restrictions. His clinical approach, combined with the daring exploration of DMT's mystical and psychological dimensions, paved the way for subsequent research into psychedelics as therapeutic agents for mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, and PTSD. Moreover, Strassman's research opened up a larger conversation about the nature of consciousness itself. Are the mystical experiences triggered by DMT merely hallucinations produced by the brain under the influence of a powerful drug? Or do they point to deeper, hidden dimensions of reality? Strassman's work encourages us to ask fundamental questions about the limits of human perception and the potential for psychedelics to reveal more about the nature of existence. Conclusion: science and mysticism converge. Rick Strassman's clinical DMT experiments stand at the intersection of science and mysticism, offering a unique lens through which to explore the human mind's potential. While his findings have not yet resolved the mystery of whether DMT truly opens a portal to other realms or merely enhances the brain's imaginative capacities, the research undeniably expanded our understanding of altered states of consciousness. By courageously venturing into a field long shunned by mainstream science, Strassman reintroduced the possibility that mystical experiences might have a neurochemical basis, and that substances like DMT could one day help unravel the complexities of consciousness, perception, and the deep spiritual yearnings of the human soul. Whether DMT is a mere hallucinogen or a profound spiritual tool, Strassman's work has ensured that the conversation about psychedelics and their place in human experience is far from over. Expand your knowledge and wisdom through short film documentaries like this one you just watched. Subscribe to The Philosopher's Canvas on YouTube and support us with a like and a comment. Until next time.